Well, welcome back everyone. Welcome back to Shady Oaks Farm. Today we are starting the beetle kill on the ceiling. So I went ahead and put the first piece on. It's nothing unusual about it. The only thing I did was the first piece going against the wall. This is a 10-12 pitch, so I put a 40-degree bevel on the first piece so it sits against the wall there. I haven't decided if we're going to trim that out or not on the side there. If we don't have to, we won't. We went ahead and marked our rafters with a chalk line. We went about 6 feet up or so, and then we'll work our way out. So I want to make sure I know exactly where the center of those rafters are. So when I break on a board, I know exactly where I'm breaking at. So I went ahead and marked each one. I did not trust where the drywall screws were. I went ahead and used a stud finder and then found the edge, made sure I had the edge, and then measured over 1.5 inches, and just make sure that we're right on the edge of each one. So we went ahead and put the first one on. Like I say, put the bevel on there, and then it's just, like I say, it's got a 40-degree bevel on it, and then we'll work from there. We don't know how this is going to go up. I hope it's easy. We got mostly 16 footers. It's 20-some feet across, so we just got to figure out how we're going to break them. But we'll get to work here. It's going to look pretty. It looks pretty good. The first piece does, but we'll see how it goes, and let's get to work here. So the first board we started off, we went ahead and we had a face nail down here, and then we're shooting the nails up to the tongue on that first one. So after that, there'll be hidden nails. We're using 2-inch 16 gauge finish nails. 186 3/4. 186 3/4.
Then how much do you have left on the other side of it?
186 3/4. What? You ready? All the way down.
And we're going to touch or leave a gap?
No, we're going to go just somewhat tight, not super tight. But I want your end. Don't worry about your end right now.
The end? Okay.
Yeah. Are you okay?
Yeah, I mean, I'm all the way to the end.
That's fine. Alright, this is going to be the fun part. You have to work your way in. There you go.
I start at my end?
No, work your way down. All I want you to do. Go ahead and get your hammer.
From you or my end?
Huh?
I work my way in from my end or from you?
No, work your way in from your end.
Okay, that's how it happened.
Oh, I got
You
the
need
board.
to get yours too.
I got the board. Alright, get back down there. Make sure it goes in your groove. You having trouble? It's not going in.
No, it's not. Okay.
Alright, hang on a second. Ceiling. Hold on for a second, will you?
Okay. I'm not going in.
You got it? Don't move it, don't move it, don't move it, don't move it, don't move it. Gotta find us a piece of block. You know?
Yeah, can you hold it?
Yeah. I don't have any blocks.
I said I'm going to see if I can use this one. Can I use it?
No, no.
You didn't have one block?
Right now, I'll go down there and hold that down there. I'll get another block. I just cut this off, it's down.
Okay.
We haven't cut any boards. Unfortunately. Alright, got it?
I'm holding it.
Alright. Works good with block. Works wonders with persuader. You know it?
Yeah, that's good.
Yes, it is. All right, how are you?
It looks good.
Alright, let me go ahead and nail mine in down here.
I mean, I can't.
I'll have my space down there.
Put it down anyway if I wanted to. I don't have a thingy, but.
I know you don't have a block.
I don't have a block.
How's my space?
It looks like it's like 3/4 over.
Alright. Alright, let me get this nail down here. We'll work our way down. Here you go. Hold that. You can see it.
Okay.
Well, I didn't nail that one in down here, did I? Where our came out at.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I need to put another one up here somewhere. We don't want it to fall out.
No, we don't.
We good?
Yeah.
Much better. Gotta make sure I'm down here before we nail it in. Make it a little tougher.
You want one?
Alright, hold up.
Okay.
Got it?
Yeah.
And the one I'm living, get lost inside the haze lies of my 3 children. When she pulls me into a gentle kiss, ties me up inside her southern bliss. There ain't nothing that I'd ever miss except the life I'm living. I've never wanted any other dream than the one I'm dreaming. Travel through the hills of Carolina with no pretending. Every mile echoes far and wide. Got my pride and joy laughing by my side. I never had a wish to throw across the sky, and the one I'm dreaming. So let's ride, load 'em up and head to Georgia, and let's sing till the stars show what's in store, and let's dance place on the top of every mountain down to the shore. Then we'll put them down to rest, for tomorrow holds another day for living. I never wanted any other home than the one inside them.
All right, so one side is done, so we finished that up. What do you think about that? I think it looks stunning. Let me turn the camera around here and show you what we got going. So hopefully the LED lights don't mess this up, but you can see the color in this. Absolutely amazing. I call it a modern rustic. You know, it's not too dark, it's just not plain pine. You got the grays and reds and blues. It just really, really pops. I mean, I don't know if the camera does justice or not, but it really turned out really well. And then you can see this joint here. I'm not going to trim this out right there. You can see the 40 degree joint I talked about, I cut. There's no use trimming that out at all. I think that looks nice. So it looks really good there on that trim and that 40 degree there, but on the side there, we will go ahead and put a piece of, I'll make a piece of corner molding out of the same stuff, or shoe molding or something. And then up along the beam, we will, right along the beam there, you can't see it, but we'll put a piece of trim up there. Because there's about an inch gap from the beam to the first piece of wood. So let me show you some of the tools, the tricks of the trades we did. That we had to come up with. So the first thing we did when you get closer to the beam is we made this little jig here. And so this is your sacrificial piece, we call it. I can hold the camera and do this. Hang on here for a second, I'll put this camera down, kind of explain this. So the first thing I did is when you get up there towards the beam, when you get close to it, you only have about, you don't have anywhere to swing the hammer if you think about it. So you think about when you got the beam up there and you got a 10-12 pitch roof, when you get close up to the top up there, you have nowhere to get the hammer to hammer this. This is a sacrificial piece we've been using. So, you got your groove down here, your tongue up here. You put this piece in there and you can bang it down. When you get up towards the beam, you can't do that. So I thought, well, how is that going to make that work? So what I ended up doing is taking a piece about 20 inches long. This piece is 20 inches long. Took my piece up here, which is a sacrificial piece. I nailed that on with probably 10 finished nails, and then I screwed just 2x4 on the bottom of it so I can hit that. So what you can do is you hook that on the piece. Let me find a piece of wood here. All right, so the way it works is if you got your piece hanging on the ceiling up there like this, you can hook this piece on here like so, like that. And since your beam's right here, your beam's running right there, you can't, there's no way you get a hammer in there and bang on top of that. So you can sit there and hit the hammer down here and drive that piece down into your next piece. So we did that for the last 2 rows because there's no way, well, the last 3 rows, there was no way you could get a hammer in there and pound it on the sacrificial piece to get it back down into the groove, with the tongue groove. If you ever work with tongue and groove, it doesn't, they don't meld together so easily. It's not a matter of just popping them together, by hand. You got boards that are warped. There's just tight fits, and then when you polyurethane, it makes it even stickier. It makes it a little bit harder to get down there, but mainly it's because the boards are warped. But so you got to have something on there to bang that board down on your below, the board below it. So that really worked well, and we'll use it when we do the other side also. So it didn't cost anything, just a bunch of scraps of wood. Then the other thing we end up doing is if you ever put down LVP, luxury vinyl plank flooring, they make a tool that you snap that flooring together on the floor, and it's got little felt pads on the back. You lay it down, hook it on there, and then you bang on this and it pops it in on the ends especially. Well, got thinking, up along the very top of the beam, I only got about 2 1/4 inches to the ceiling. So it's like, how am I gonna get that last board in there? Because I got a 5.5 inch board, you know, I was hoping I'd get it up in there and slide it back down without cutting the back of the groove off, you know, the back side, just push it up there and then face nail it. But we were able to get that hook on there from this this tool here. We were able to get it in. It works in the same concept. So got that tool hooked up there. You got, you know, this is 5.5 inches. This is hanging down on the piece of wood like this. So it goes like that, and hooked up along the beam up there, if you can see that. The beam would be right here, and this is the top of the beam. So you got just a little, this is that last piece of wood I said is about 2 inches wide, where I couldn't, you know, not gonna put anything there, we're just gonna put a piece of trim there, but get that hooked on there and then bang on that and pull that board down into the, you know, the tongue below. So that came in very handy too. So just a couple little things. And then the other thing we did, one more little jig we made. So the last jig I made was nothing fancy either, but there's 2x4, took a 2x4 the width of the rafters, and so you screw this on there, basically right above, you know, you get a lot of boards that are curved, and so you get this, you screw it onto the rafters through the drywall. I got 2 screws here, and I just use it over and over again. So screwed in the rafter, screwed in the rafter, and so again, here's a sacrificial piece. And I put a flat block on top of it. So the basic how it works is this. So this goes in like so, like that. And then we had this piece above it. We'll just put it like 1.5 inches above that piece. And then you take your crowbar, and you got to have this flat block on there. Take your crowbar and that 2x4 on top. And then you pry down and it will bend that board down like so. And then once you get pressure on there, then you can nail into your tongue. You know, a lot of times when I did that, I put 2 nails, you know, like in this rafter here, maybe 2 nails in this rafter here, just a little extra force, because if you don't, it'll try to bend that nail back up. So hopefully you can see all that. But it's like I say, just some of the things we had to use, improvise. You always have to improvise, it seems. Let me show you a couple other things that's been going on around the house here. So it's a little dark in here, but you can see we starting our tile job here. So I'm not doing the tiling, like I say, but we are starting it. So, you know, they started it last week. Shower pans somewhat set in there. And then I'll check some of these lights out. Don't have the lights in here and everywhere, but I'll go to the other bathroom. We got some lights in the house and some places we don't. So here's the bathroom tile. They just got it laid, still got some clips in there. I'm not gonna walk in there, but that one's all done. So gotta get the vanity in there. We'll get the granite countertops on, and we got some why-do. Starting to trim windows out. I'll go in this room here, you can see. So that's one of the other things I've been doing on the side. Here's I've not done any video on trimming these windows out, but I guess I could do one. But it's more of a craftsman design. You got your freeze board up there, and then just a little trim board up on top. That's a 1x2. And then you got 1x4s. 1x4 stool cap, and then an apron there below 1x4. So that's what that looks like. And I think I've showed you the doors before. We've got the doors in, so we're coming along slowly but surely. All right, so that's how the first side of the ceiling's done, and I'll go ahead and post another video when we get the other side done. I probably won't show us putting every board up, but I'll show you what the finished results look like. Thanks again for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.